Good
Good
morning.
morning, Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome back to the program this morning. We are so excited to be here, as always.
Yes, happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. So this morning, with the general election just weeks away, so we're staying on trend yet again. The battle for Tobago's 2 parliamentary seats is heating up. Multiple parties are in the race, each making big promises, but which vision will Tobagonians trust? So joining us this morning is Dr. Faith Brebno. She is the Deputy Political Leader of the TPP, that's Tobago People's Party, and Secretary of Health, Wellness and Social Protection in the Tobago House of Assembly. We'll be discussing the TPP's vision for Tobago, the challenges facing the island, and what the party's leadership plans to do differently. Good morning, Dr. Brebno, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Of course. So, Dr. Brebno, you've urged Tobagonians not to waste this election, even warning that by the time the next Tobago House of Assembly election comes around, there may be nothing left to vote for. That's a strong statement, right? So what exactly is at stake for Tobago in this election?
So if you've been following the Tobago autonomy discussion, the current Tobago House of Assembly has been in existence for 44 years. This year we celebrated 44 years. And the iterations of the Tobago House of Assembly to get to the point of where we are now has been a struggle. What do I mean by that? We had to fight for several versions of it. And when we say fight, we mean in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago to fight for this thing known as autonomy. The Tobago House of Assembly is a creature of a level of autonomy for the people of Tobago, where we are able to determine for ourselves and we are able to chart the course and we are able to execute on our own behalf the policies that are important to the people of Tobago within this union known as Trinidad and Tobago. And what we've been saying is that what we need to be a better contributor to this country known as Trinidad and Tobago is greater autonomy. And that greater autonomy can only be gathered if we are doing it in a peaceful way through the parliamentary system, where the Tobago East and the Tobago West seats must be voices that speak resoundingly on behalf of the people of Tobago in that Tobago autonomy struggle. Currently, we have 2 members of parliament who are not speaking on behalf of Tobago. They are speaking on behalf of their political party, which is the People's National Movement. What we are saying to Tobagonians is that you finally have an opportunity in this election, though it is called very quickly, to vote for 2 representatives who are the representatives of the Tobago People's Party, who will represent you, represent your needs, represent the wants of the average Tobagonian, and not to just follow what their party or what their masters are saying, because we are here representing the people of Tobago, and this is an opportunity to do this. And let me explain why. When we look at the configuration of the potential outcome for the 2 major parties in Trinidad, we have been following it closely, and we recognize that the seats will be so close that the 2 major parties will need to have meaningful conversation with the Tobago People's Party if we are the ones, or when we are the ones elected, to ensure that they have even a simple majority in the parliament. And that gives us bargaining power, that gives us the ability to negotiate on behalf of the people of Tobago. And I am telling the people of Tobago that this is your opportunity to ensure that the 2 representatives are 2 representatives who will bargain on behalf of you and not any other political party because they have to.
So
No, so let's look at it. I want to look at it this way. The TPP is a relatively new party, right? And it's competing against well-established parties. So we have, apart from the PNM, there's the PDP, which is also, I mean, PDP is Tobago, you know. So how do you plan to convince skeptical voters that Tobago People's Party is the best option for Tobago?
So the Tobago People's Party was birthed out of the fact that the leader of the PDP indicated to all of Tobago that he was the owner and ruler of the PDP, and he literally took his party name and party symbol and left. The rest of us, who are the members who the Tobago people elected in December 2021, are the members who have formed the Tobago People's Party, because in essence we were kicked out of the PDP and we were forced, because the people on the ground said to us, the way to go into elections, the way to do politics in the Caribbean space is via partisan, via the political creature as a political party. So we were basically forced to create this entity known as the Tobago People's Party. So we are the ones actually who have the support of the people on the ground, because we are the ones who continued executing the mandate that we went into the December 2021 election with, where we won resoundingly with 14 out of the 15 seats. The players are all the same, and it is literally only the leader of the other party who kicked us out, who said he is the boss and this is his thing and nobody can talk to he, and all, all of that. He is the one who is still there with that name and that symbol. So I don't know that we have to convince Tobagonians that we are Tobagonians. They know, the people who voted for me. They know who I am, and they also know that I am no longer a part, because I was kicked out of that other political organization. So I am confident that they will see that the people who are currently on the ground running the Tobago House of Assembly are the ones who are asking them to vote for your Tobago People's Party candidate for East and West.
Dr. Brabner, I'd just like to continue the conversation on autonomy a little bit further. Why do you think it has not yet been achieved? Are the people unified enough for this to be a soon reality?
The people are unified, and that's why I said it to them on Sunday that this is your opportunity. See, in the two iterations of the Tobago House of Assembly Act came about when we had non-PNM members representing Tobago. That is just a fact. We had A.N.R. Robinson, we had Pamela Nicholson. Those are the people who are the ones who fought for the Tobago House of Assembly so that we could get the version that we have now. The history shows that whenever people representing Tobago are not members of the People's National Movement, the Tobago autonomy question or the Tobago autonomy struggle moves forward. That is a historical fact. So this is and that is why, if you ask me, that is why it has not moved before, because we have had many variations. We've had opportunities. We've had opportunities to have real, honest discussions. And when the people of Tobago said to the people representing them over the last 10 years, East and West, this is what we want, they simply ignored what the people said and they voted with their party in Trinidad. So we are unified in terms of understanding what we need. And I think that the elections of December 2021 showed the country that we were unified because we were able to get a party that had been in power in Tobago for over 21 years. We were able to resoundingly get them out of the seat of power. And I think this is an opportunity for the people of Tobago, again, to show that, yes, we are unified, we are ready for this autonomy, and the only way to do it is to vote for the Tobago People's Party, which is, the symbol is the anchor.
So I want to stay on trend here with regard to Tobago's autonomy. We understand that Tobago has had a long and uneasy relationship with the central government in Trinidad. So in practical terms, what does real autonomy look like for the TPP, and how would you plan to push that agenda forward once elected?
Certainly. So, sadly, the Tobago has had a challenging relationship because, unfortunately, the party that has been responsible for the government of Trinidad and Tobago for the majority of the nation's history as an independent nation has been a party that seems to not want autonomy for Tobago. That has been clear. But what does autonomy mean? Autonomy means allowing the Tobago people to decide on the things that are important to us and to make laws relating to them. So let me give you an example. The way the THA is set up right now, if the Tobago House of Assembly, and we've done it, want to do a bill, want to create a law pertaining to anything that is relating to Tobago. So we're not talking about changing a national law. We're not talking about changing something that would influence Trinidad. No, we're talking about something that is important to Tobago that will influence Tobago. We have to take it to the Tobago House of Assembly, the Assembly Legislature. We have to debate on it. And when we debate on it, we will create something that is known as a Tobago bill. That Tobago bill needs to be taken to the cabinet. And this is where you need to pay very close attention. It has to be taken to the cabinet, and the cabinet will then decide whether it will take it to the parliament to be debated in the parliament and to then become a law in Trinidad and Tobago. We do not have the authority right now to say that this is something that we need to do. We need this law created and get it sent directly to the parliament even, or get it sent directly to the president. The way municipalities in Trinidad, for example, can create their borough laws and their municipality laws. We do not have the authority to do that. And as an example, we actually did that a couple of years ago, where we were talking about implementing a mechanism to protect our marine space. So we're talking about the sea area right around us. That was sent to the cabinet, and it has never seen the light of day, possibly because that is not of importance to the cabinet, and that might be rightly so, and that would be fine. But it was important to the people of Tobago, and we are yet to get that as a law to allow us to monitor and to allow us to protect our marine space right around the island the way we want to. So that is a simple example of when I say autonomy, what I'm talking about. The other side of autonomy has to do with the fact that we are interested in improved revenue sharing. What does that mean? It means that the resources that are used to run the country known as Trinidad and Tobago are primarily coming out of the sea, oil and gas coming out of the bed of the sea. And we recognize that there's quite a lot of oil and gas fields around what would be classified as Tobago waters if Tobago were a country separate. And we are just saying, because this is around our space, we should have a better discussion as it relates to how we share those resources, and not just give us the 4.03%, which is the bare minimum that the law says that we are supposed to get to run everything that we need to do on the island. Those are just two examples of what we're talking about.
So, Dr. Brebner, I'm just reading an article here where the PDB's Tobago West candidate, Curtis Douglas, said, "So I'm saying to you all, and I quote, when the anchor referring to the TPP symbol hits salt water, it rottens. And as a fisherman, the chain does burst. Come home." What does that mean to you, and what do you have to say in response to that?
There is really no reason to respond to that. The people of Tobago are interested in having honest, important, difficult conversations about the issues that affect our lives. We are not. This is not a puppy show. This is not a comedy show. This is not. This is nothing like that. When I am talking to you and when I am making reference, for example, to increased revenue sharing, I'm doing it because as a secretary with responsibility for health, wellness, and social protection, where in last fiscal I was given $20-something million to do all of the development that needs to happen on the island as it relates to health, as it relates to wellness, as it relates to social protection. When, for example, the zoo could be refurbished in Trinidad for what, $50-something million. Imagine that $50-something million used to refurbish the zoo, $20-something million given for the entire island as it relates to health, wellness, and social protection. Those are the kinds of conversations we are having. The conversations that you are hearing on the other side sound exactly as you said. It's not serious. It's an unserious kind of conversation, and I don't know that Tobagonians are listening to them and taking them in and ingesting what they're saying as being important or as being critical to the people of Tobago. The people I meet are telling us that they want us to continue this fight on their behalf, and that is what we are doing.
All right. I must say I respect your position on that. I think sometimes the parties are too focused on quarreling with each other over things of non-concern. So I must say I respect your position on that.
Agreed.
Thank you very much.
I want to jump a little bit now on the displacement controversy with regard to the relocation of residents for the A&R Robinson International Airport. That expansion has been one of the most controversial issues in Tobago currently, and you've criticized how it was handled. But in reality, how should a government balance national development projects with the rights and well-being of the citizens?
I really appreciate that question because I was actually in the Tobago House of Assembly as a minority councillor when this project started a couple of years ago. And I went to the consultations. The consultations, by the way, that the Prime Minister later told the people of Tobago that those consultations were stupid and the people who were there didn't have the authority to say what they said to the people of Tobago and to have those conversations, which in and of itself says something about how the former Prime Minister thinks about the people of Tobago. Very, very insulting. He's very insulting to the people of Tobago. But how do you do this? We recognize that two things can happen at the same time. You can have development, which we welcome, which we appreciate. We love the idea of having a brand spanking new, much larger airport. Certainly. I don't know that any of us have ever argued against that. But you can't do that while treating human beings humanely. And they did not treat the Tobagonians who they displaced humanely. And we did not. So we saw it happening. We recognized that the things that they were promising Tobagonians to give them as they were moving did not materialize. So initially we were talking about rebuilding a home for you, as they have done in some of the areas in Trinidad where highways needed to be built, and they built up new communities to place those individuals who were displacing, or we would give you the equivalent of what your home and land is so that you can go and build again somewhere, and we would give you we would give you the land so that you have land, you don't have to worry about that, and then you could go build somewhere else. That conversation was shut down, and the negotiating for that was horribly done. And on top of that, what we did not even realize, which is what the Minister for Finance said a couple months ago, when somebody asked him about cost overruns for the airport, he actually got up and boasted about saving 46, I think it is, $1 million for the relocation part of that project, which means if you can identify $46 million as a saving, it means that you had budgeted that $46 million and whatever else, and you did not spend it. That is what a saving is. And it means that you knew that you were under you were giving the people who you displaced less money than they deserve. You could have given those to Begonians that 40-something million dollars to allow them to rebuild, to allow them to live comfortably after you move them out of their ancestral lands. But you didn't do that. And that to me is a perfect example of why we need two Tobago People's Party representatives in the parliament because the Tobago East and the Tobago West MPs sat there quietly while the government of Trinidad and Tobago did that level of injustice to the people they were there to represent. And they are the two people who are asking Tobagonians to vote for them again after you sat and presided over that and you said nothing on behalf of the people you are supposed to represent. No, 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 no. We believe that you can do things humanely. We believe that you can walk and chew gum at the same time. And we have actually come in and we have actually been helping those residents by paying rent for them. Because yes, some of them, what they recognized with the money that they were going to get, because it was not enough, because it was done so badly, by the time they paid rent for the year while they were trying to build their homes, they did not have any money left back. So the Tobago House of Assembly, with the meager 4-point-something% that we've been getting, we have been paying those people's rents to allow them to build. We are the ones who said to them, the land that you are supposed to be getting to build back, instead of paying this exorbitant market rate, we are going to give you it for peppercorn. And by the way, if all you could pay is $100 a month, go ahead, go on your land, start the bill and pay the $100 a month. That is okay. We are the ones, the Tobago People's Party administration in the Tobago House of Assembly is the organization that has been doing that for those people who that other party left stranded and are now boasting that they saved $46 million when they could have made them happier and they could have left them in a better position.
Yeah. I want to get your view on something because we do have to begin wrapping up. But some voters, it was reported some voters see general elections as a Trinidad affair and believe that real power lies in the THA elections for Tobago. Why do you think there's such a disconnect between the two?
I mean, it is because of what they see the Tobago House of Assembly doing. The Tobago House of Assembly is the entity that ensures that out of the 4.03% that we get, that they get their schools, that they get their hospitals. Most people don't recognize that the health centers and hospitals and so forth, out of the 4.03% that we get, I have to give to the Tobago Regional Health Authority upwards of $40 million every month to run it. So they recognize that that is where they get their bread buttered, putting it colloquially. And they do not recognize that it is what happens in the general election that can influence how much the Tobago House of Assembly has power and what the Tobago House of Assembly can do. And that is why I am encouraging everyone to this time. You can't play for slips. You can't take the chance of not voting in the general election. We are asking you to vote resoundingly for the Tobago People's Party candidates, who are Joel Sampson in the West and David Thomas in the East. Vote for those two individuals because those are the individuals who we will send to Parliament, and then they can advocate so that the Tobago House of Assembly can get the resources and the power it needs to truly do what the average person on Tobago expects government to do for them.
As we wrap up, as we come to a close on this discussion, you have 30 seconds to speak directly to every undecided voter in Tobago. What would you say to them?
Don't waste this opportunity. This is an opportunity to send freedom fighters to the Parliament to fight on behalf of Tobago. This is an opportunity to vote for the Tobago People's Party. The anchor holes, we are asking you resoundingly to support David Thomas and Joel Sampson, because those are the individuals who would ensure that your life is in a better position come the end of this election.
Thank you, Dr. Brebno. The conversation this morning was pretty incredible. We've heard a lot, and it was your vision for Tobago. It's not what's the word, is not, beyond reach, so we do wish you all the best with regard to the elections, the upcoming elections.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.
You as well.
The anchor holds.
All right, so that was Dr. Faith Brabner sharing the TPP's vision for Tobago's future and the stakes in this upcoming election, with Tobago's 2 parliamentary seats being so critical. Up next, we will hear from another key player in this race, PDP leader WeSN Duke. So stay with us for that conversation. We'll be right back.